Hello, tennis fans. Welcome back to another Mishit Tennis hitting session. I am your host, DeSquinch. We will be talking about U.S. tennis. Let's hit some balls. Okay. Monday usual. Let's take a look at the schedule. All right, and then let's look at the rankings. So where are we? Where are we? We are at the beginning of April. So what do we got going on? We just had this dead week over here. We had a bunch of people participating in smaller tournaments, specifically the Fayez Seraphim and Company U.S. Men's Clay Court Championship. It's an ATP 250 on clay, and it's really like the only clay U.S. tournament, and it's on the men's side, and everybody kind of plays it to get ready for clay season over in Europe, and then it rolls into the Monte Carlo um, this week. Now for U.S. players, it's a little bit tough because if you go over from Monte Carlo early and get acclimated, like right after Miami, you're essentially in Europe for like 3 months till Wimbledon. So what some of the players do is they skip, they make an injury for Monte Carlo and they really just play this stretch in Europe and then decide what to do between the French and Wimbledon. There, usually they play Queens. It usually is all of Europe. So you can cut off 2 weeks by faking an injury, skipping Monte Carlo. I think both Tommy Paul and Taylor Fritz are doing that. I don't know if they're faking an injury or if they have an injury, but I don't believe either of those two are playing. We'll be able to look into that later. So what we had was the quick, we call it our clay court championship, but it's really just a clay court tournament to start getting the Americans ready. And we had a bunch of Americans in there. You see Tommy Paul, you see Brooksby. I'm pointing him out because A, he won, but also because he is quite a story. We'll talk about him in a second. Kovacevic, Eubanks, Mackenzie McDonald, Nakashima made a nice little run. Mickelson made a decent little run. Tiafo, so no Fritz, but everybody else is in there, and all the people we expected to go pretty deep went pretty deep. Tiafo came up, took out Mickelson, took out Nakashima, then lost to Brooksby. Brooksby took out Paul and Tiafo on his way through. Wow. Also took out the 3 seed Tabilo. So he's playing good. What's his story? I don't know exactly. I think he was hurt, but he was ranked as high as 33rd, and now he's just coming back. He looks 100%, and he was down ranked about 400th, and he is making a huge, huge jump up the polls. So let's just look for Brooksby. 167th. So his career high is 33rd. 167th now, but he just went up like 340 spots in the rankings. Well, whatever. Maybe it shows over here. This doesn't go far enough, unfortunately. So, anyways, he's one to keep an eye out. We've got some honorable mention people that we're going to start talking about a little bit more going forward. But for the most part, this is where we're at. So let's take a look at the matrix real quick. Men's side, no changes. Fritz holds his position. Paul holds his position. Shelton holds his position. Tiafo holds his position. Good thing Tiafo had that run, to be honest with you. And then, so you see Fritz at 4. You see Paul and Shelton at 13 and 14. Tiafo at 17. We got Korda snipping at the gates here at 24. Nakashima 31. Mickelson 37. Duran 45. All kind of honorable mentions that we'll keep an eye out. But yeah, so we'll have to see how our roster holds through European clay season, but that should be exciting. Now on the women's side, a little bit of movement. A little bit of movement. Specifically, we have a new leader in the clubhouse. So Pegula was rocking 55537 75555444443. She's just playing steady Eddie, and she's playing steady Eddie enough that she went and jumped ahead of Goff. Goff is now 4, and it was forever that Goff was just ahead of her. It looks like back here towards the end of last year there was a week or two where it wasn't the case, but for the most part, yeah, good on Jessica Pegula for jumping the little group of 3 that has been at the 3, 4, 5 spot for a long time. Navarro holds at 11. Well, not really holds. I guess she drops 1 down to 11. And Nissimova makes up 1. She's 16. She's still playing good tennis. I have no doubts that she'll be able to hold in the top 20 for a little while. And we are into Q2. We are into Q2, which is clay court season. So we're going to start hiding some of these a little bit more. Let's hide these next 3 for now. And let's do that over on the men's side. Hide these next 3. And that should leave 2 showing. 1, 6, 331, and 4, 7. 1, 6, 331, and 4, 7. Well, I guess we got to do 2 more of these to make it even. And then let's add 3 columns, right? Now let's add 3 columns right here. Okay, and we've got our matrix back to normal. Pretty soon, you know what? I like having a little bit more than this. So let's go to 3, 3. So 317, 331, and 47 are still showing. So let's get 1 more out here. Okay. So now we know where they started, 7-1, and okay, Pegula just having a great year so far. Goff, steady. I don't think she's having a great year by any means. Keys with the huge Australian Open win, shoots way up. Navarro sliding. And then there's a move on the rise. Okay, great, awesome. Matrix looks good. So back to the schedule for a second. So where are we at now? We are in this week. So what are we going to do this week? We're going to go ahead and stream quite a bit, because I think what I'm going to do is actually do dailies for the Masters 1000s. Why not? Maybe that's the way to go. Let's go look and see if there's any matches specific for today scheduled. Is there going to be some? Tennis is usually right there. Why don't you shoot over there? Okay. All right. Monte Carlo has first round going. Yes. And remember, there's only 8 seeds in this. So we're going to take a look at that draw in a second. So Ben Shelton's playing right now. And this is over in Europe. So the stuff happens earlier. Court is already out. Duran beats Shapovalov. Nice. Okay, so we're in action over at Monte Carlo. That's good. We're going to take a look at that draw. But first, let's take a quick look at what happened. We already looked at the men's draw here. What happened in Charleston? So Charleston's a little bit bigger draw, it looks like. Maybe that's the same size. And yeah, Pegula works through. Stearns just 1 win. Just kind of going through the USA people that matter. Stearns is an honorable mention. Danielle Collins made a run. So she's been dropping points like crazy, but she did decent. And Nissimova makes a run, and then she actually had to disqualify, retire against Kennan. So I don't know if she's hurt a little bit, just making sure she's not, dealing with some aches and pains. I don't know what the deal is there, but if anybody does know, please comment. Navarro makes a nice little run until she hits Anisimova. Kennan makes a great run. That's going to help her. She's an honorable mention. And Madison Keys, only 2 wins. Like, I don't know. Maybe she kind of isn't doing as well. So, anyways, that was the Charleston Open, which the women were playing. Now, this week, we don't need you open anymore. We don't need you open anymore. Let's leave you open for a second. So that's what happened last week. Now, this week, let's take a look at the draw here for the Monte Carlo Masters and see what we're dealing with. Okay, yeah, there's only 8 seeds. It's one of these, what would this be, a 56-person draw? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 62, 64 minus 4, 56-man tournament. Yep, 56-man draw. So that means the top 8 get seeds. Let's make this a little bigger so we can see down here. So Zverev, Alcaraz, Djokovic, Ruud, Draper, Tsitsipas, Rublev, and de Minaur got the seeds. So no Americans with seeds, but remember, oh no, there are 16 seeds. Medvedev, Rune, Shelton. Shelton and Tiafo shot right over there. But remember, no Fritz, no Paul. So really, we're counting on Ben Shelton and Tiafo to kind of hold the roster up. So a bunch of these are already played. Let's see if we've got any. Quarter's already out, so there's an honorable mention out. Duran's playing up against Draper next. So he's an honorable mention. We'll keep an eye on Shelton playing now. Tiafo probably playing soon. And then, yeah, that's where we're at. So that's what we're going to be having to keep an eye on here. And I'll probably turn on this Shelton match over on the side there as soon as we finish here. So that's what's going on with that. And then that's the Monte Carlo. So we're in business. And we'll go ahead and keep streaming daily, I guess, until there's no more US people left. So these Monday, Thursdays aren't going to work. What we're going to do is we're going to do dailies or Mondays. Unless it's a 2-week 1000 where we do a Monday, Thursday, because nothing really happens before then. That actually makes sense. Daily, Monday. So this would be the Monday, Thursday. This would be a daily. Monday, daily, daily. Monday, 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 daily, daily. Monday, Monday. This has got to be a daily. Monday, Thursday, daily. Monday, daily, daily. We're going to call this a Monday, Thursday. We're going to call this a TBD and a TBD. Because we might have to go every day for that. So this is going to be a Monday, Thursday. This is the second week, so we'll do a daily here. And then we'll do a daily here. Monday, Monday, Monday. Paris. Oh, it's another 1,000. We gotta go daily there. When they're 1 week, it's not so bad because it gets rolling on Monday. And then we're just right in the business here. WTA Finals. Better TBD that. Better TBD that. Better TBD that. The last one of the season there. Okay, that looks all right to me. Next, what are we going to do? We feel pretty good about that. Oh, we want to look at what this BGK Cup is all about for this one. So let's go find out who we are playing. I like doing that on, okay, draws and results. I think we got qualifiers coming up, right? Yeah, so this is groups of 3. That's qualifiers group A, B, C. There we are. So yeah, so we're in a group of 3. So we'll play like some sort of match against Denmark and some sort of match against Slovakia. It looks like the 12th and the 13th. So at the end of the week. Cool. That should be fun. And it looks like rosters are out. So it looks like we're going to go over to Wikipedia. Billie Jean King Cup Wiki qualifiers. What we need are the Billie Jean King Cup qualifiers. Here they are. Okay, 18 teams will play in 6 groups of 3. Winners of each group advances, and then there's 2 teams already waiting in the finals. One is the host, and one is the team that won last year, I do believe. And then each one of the countries in each group hosts. The 6 group winners will play in the finals, and the 12 losing teams go into the playoffs for next year. Okay. So here we are, Slovakia, United States, and Denmark. Yep, and here's the matches. So it does not give, let's qualify the format, from what I can tell, unless I come over here, I bet you over here is the format. Yes. Record 146 nations. That's awesome. All right. So here we are, Group C qualifiers. Groups A and C, April 11th and 13th. I thought they showed 12th and 13th, but whatever. Round robin with 6 groups of 3. 1 host nation per group. 3-day event. Each tie consists of 2 singles and 1 double match. So we've got to win 2 out of those 3 matches. 6 group winners. So we got to go 2 out of 3 to make the finals. Twice in a row. First against Slovakia and then against Denmark. The 12th and the 13th, I see. So 11th through the 13th. I got you. Okay, so then let's take a look at our teams. And honestly, I think we should also take a look at the WTA rankings. Because, and that is not, okay, let's take a look at the rankings from here. WTA rankings official. Yes, there we go. That's way it's easy to search. Okay, I think we're done with format. Keep you open for a second. So we got Collins and Pegula, Kessler, Asia Muhammad, Desiree Project, and Lindsay Davenport as our captain. So we've got our 2 singles players there, Collins and Pegula. And then 2 of these 3 must be like one of our better playing doubles teams right now. And then we've got a backup just in case there's an injury. Blanca, Jamrenko, Svedzin, Torsten. I don't recognize any of these names, so maybe we just do a quick search to see how high they are. Oh, and okay. We can click on them. Singles ranking 513. Well, we better just click on all these people. Qualifiers, Group C. Okay. First Slovakia, then we're going to open up these Denmarks, and we're going to see what we're dealing with over here. So 513th in the world, 333rd in the world, 36. So she must be one of the singles players. Sramkova, 262. And then a doubles ranking. Oof. Okay, now Denmark, 693. 21, Towson. That's their best singles player, it looks like. Emily Francati, some weird page. She doesn't have a ranking, maybe. Week. Weeks off. 1,000th. Okay, so basically we are heavy favorites on paper. It should be. Okay, but now we know what we're dealing with. So we should just roll through those matches. We'll keep an eye on those for sure. Okay, Ben Shelton's down. Are they on serve? I don't know. Medvedev catch. Kachanov. These still playing good tennis. The hecka. He's just a good player. Too much for him, I guess. Okay, we don't need this anymore. I guess that's it, really. This test, whether it's on serve or not. So Fokina's serving up 6-5. Nope, he's got the break. Okay, I think that's it. So just a quick little one to kind of work into the week. It's a weird week, so we're going to kind of follow Monte Carlo, our players that we got over there at the beginning of the week, and then we'll move into the Billie Jean King Cup towards the end of the week. So that is going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for showing up. Remember to like, subscribe, rate, do all that good stuff. And yeah, it's been great. Thanks for showing up. Let's pick up these balls and get out of here.